Are you all enjoying the heat? Well, I'm glad you're all such enthusiastic applauders, because there's nothing for counteracting heat that's better than some really good fans. A few years ago, I was in the Highlands of Scotland, and I was at a music session called Celtic Chaos at the Lochduig Hotel. And the evening wore on, darkness fell, and the session came to a close, and we had to drive back to our home. And we drove along the coastline, past Ellendonnan Castle that was featured in Braveheart, past glens that had been cleared of sheep, people for sheep, past the bridge to the Isle of Skye. And on the Isle of Skye, the main town is Portree, and its square is named after a Highland hero, Somerled, Lord of the Isles, who purged Vikings from that coast. And we kept on driving and came to the harbour town of Cloughton, where we were staying. The tide was out in the moonlight, and there were traditional open wooden boats lying on a slant on the shore, and they had been racing that day under sail. So instead of going to bed, I went down and sat on the shore and thought about the music and the history of that place and made up a poem. Join me on that night as I now tell it to you. Songs of the Isles. It's Celtic chaos at Lochduig. The music session's finishing. The barman pours folks out the door. They drive away, diminishing, vanishing into darkening lands where clearances once shattered the homes and lives of crofting peoples. The sheep now flourish, scattered like grace notes fallen from fiddle airs or from songs of bygone eons, of Flodden's and Culloden's fields and spray-sodden Hebrideans. All night they stamp their musical feet and swirl the smoke and ale, with clucks and burls and cukes and dirls, now silent, still, and stale. And I return to Cloughton shore, where I sit in a stone and wonder if I would have made a man among men in the days of plight and plunder, in the days when allegiances could shift like seafarers under sail, changing course to avail themselves of the winds that would prevail. This very dawn I stood upon the buttress across the bay, the watch crag of Loch Carron's Narrows, where lookouts perhaps one day sentryed these Viking longship routes for Ivor Blacktooth's pillagers as his ravaging bands drove inland to ravish the wives of villagers. Before me lie the sheltered coves where the sailboats race today. Now their wooden hulls ease sideways as the tide wash ebbs away, but their lap-straight lines and their gleaming curves seem to come alive again and take to the waves of the inner sound like a timeless song's refrain. And I see two square sails billowing as they swallow long sea miles. The dragon ship of Somerled, lord of all these isles, passes Ellendonnan's fort. 120 oarsmen bend their arms to the beat of the gong to ram the fleeing Norsemen, and Capula beats that gong in tune to muscle and sweat and wave. Her tawny hair howls in the dark. She's his mistress and his brave second mate in battles and surprise nighttime attacks that set the bold invaders to their oars with flailing backs, with 200 Irish gallowbosses, and with smoke and sleight of hand, he routed 1,000 Vikings, and with a will to understand the needs of men who rally to a stronger shield and blade, he won his phrase in minds, not babes, by allegiances he made. I see beached goblet sterns be calm, like the locals' sleeping faces. Our hearts and songs communion I saw the shimmering traces of unfulfilled but fervent longing in glances fair and vulpine, watching sea lochs simmering red, dark as quaits of mulled wine, and I realized that just like them, I'm another whose dreams of glory are doomed to nullity, for they come too late in history's story. That I can love their songs and tunes, but I'll never swear an oath or wager countless lives upon a wind-blown clansman's trough, or snap my neck from the axe's path, or swing my sword in wrath, or walk among the dead and maimed in the battle's aftermath, or choose my friends for their usefulness and repute of non-betrayal, or commit my hand to venturings where death awaits all who fail. And so I rise from my foreshore stone with a drowsiness in my head, and I cross the road and climb the stairs and go to my safe warm bed, while the musicians lie in theirs, in their glens of fleeting song, and dream of the fiddle, the wind-filled flute, the bodhrán, and the gong.